You know, man's depressed, man. He's trying to play cool and act as though he ain't hearing what it's not bothering him, man. It is bothering you. Right? He's probably eating all kind of hot dogs and greasy ass chicken and all of that nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's the sign of depression. You always eating, you just gluten. You know?
It's at Romans 10 and 17, and it says, so then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of the Most High.
Right, faith coming by hearing of the word of the Most High. Go on.
But I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily, their sound went into all the earth,
right,
and their words unto the ends of the world.
Right, and their word went unto the ends of the world. Why was that the case? Give me Psalms 19. Because the word, I was gonna say the word world. The word of the Lord went all the way out, all throughout the internet, and woke up a lot of brothers. The internet is really what helped us to seal the elect more so than how Paul did it. He didn't have to go travel the world. Beginning with the apostles, they didn't have to go travel the world to wake brothers all around the world. They didn't have to do that. All he done was just put their videos, their footage on YouTube of them speaking of the word, and we got liberated, and now we're brought back to the reconcilement of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Baal Shem El Shai. Alright? That's all he had to do. This is why you got GMS England. Okay? You got GMS Germany. You got GMS Holland. You got GMS Jamaica. You got GMS, Trinidad. GMS is all over the place, man. Bringing out the same word, condemning the same man. Pursuant to Ezekiel, I believe it's the 36th chapter. No, 38 to be exact. That's what we're doing every single time, man. Actually every day, because we're also doing sit-down shows at the same time. All right. Anyway,
Psalms 19 and 1. The heavens declare the glory of the Most High, and the firmament sheweth his handiwork.
Right, and the firmament sheweth his handiwork. Go on.
Day unto day uttereth speech,
right,
and night unto night sheweth knowledge.
Right, and night unto night sheweth knowledge. So are we actually doing the work 24/7, 365? No, we can't do that. But the internet does that. Yeah, that's ham, ain't it? Ain't that ham? Yeah, that's ham right there.
Them two us women and shit.
Yeah. But they could be Israelites though, because they ain't that tall. They're not really that tall, man.
Yeah, but I still
They got that dry skin.
Yeah, they do.
Rough, some people skin.
They got those eyes too, those bugged out skeletal eyes, man.
Yeah. Black guys have my skin.
Yeah.
Blacker than black itself.
Yeah. They're like a matte black, but like a tint black, pretty much, you know? Tint brown. When no one's black, I gotta correct myself, but like a tint brown. They're like a matte brown. Go on, bro. It's a difference.
Yeah, read that again. It says, verse 2, day unto day utter speech, and night unto night sheweth knowledge. There is no speech, no language where their voice is not heard.
Exactly. So we're all over the internet. Why? Because you have the internet dish, which pretty much broadcasts all of our information. So it's not about casting any kind of truth out there. It's what we're casting out there, which is making an effect on this planet Earth, and making an effect towards the downfall of Esau and Edom, and the downfall of the revival of ancient Rome. That's what's really doing it. And this is why the powers that be, the elite, beginning with the Rothschild dynasty, they know exactly what we're talking about. And they can agree with what we're saying to a certain degree. Okay? But they won't agree with us 100%, which I understand that, because we represent the end of their world. We're a sign of their end, as Ezekiel was a sign unto the people. Okay, give me that Ezekiel, brother. That's in Ezekiel chapter 2, I believe it is. Ezekiel was a sign unto Israel.
Got a precept while you're looking, yeah?
Alright, go on.
2 Corinthians 10:4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through,
Ezekiel 24, verse 27.
Through God to pulling down of strongholds.
Right.
5. Casting down imaginations of every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God.
I tell you what, rerun that again, I wasn't listening.
For 2 Corinthians 10:4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds,
Right.
Casting down imagination of every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God.
Exactly. So technically, we don't have to get carnal. We don't have to punch people in the head. We don't have to go warhammer style these people. All we got to do is keep pushing His word. All we got to do is bring out that same vibration, time in and time out. Like we can all do it together. As an amalgamation of all of us, we can move the mountain, and we're already moving the mountain. Go on, brother. You got some more now?
And bringing unto captivity every thought to the obedience of Yahushua.
Exactly. So everything that we've known and everything that's out in the midst of the society, talking about the philosophy that the society pushes, it goes under the knowledge of the Heavenly Father. It goes behind it. Yeah? And that's what we're all about, man. We ain't no goddamn Rastas too. We ain't no weed smoking Rastas, because they don't have a clue what the hell is going on, man. Alright? They don't have a clue what's going on. They won't have a clue what's going on because they're so clouded in marijuana smoke. Alright? Anyway, we wish you had before, brother. We never get it. Them Rastas couldn't even spell prophecy, man. Talking about the prophecy out.
You want me to read it again?
Yeah, read it again.
Oh, come on. Alright. I had another precept lined up, but I'll go back to it. 2 Corinthians 4:10. 4:10. Oh, I just brought. Let me read this one because it could be the spirit. It could be the spirit. 2 Corinthians 4:7 says, "But we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency of the power may be of God and not of us."
Right, that the excellency of the Most High may be of Himself, not of us. So the Lord is going to manifest His majesty by the word. So in other words, what the Lord is already doing, the Lord is already showing His power by little and little. And we're seeing, because we're preaching His word, things are moving towards the way that we want it to go. Go on, brother, you got any more now?
This is the precept you asked for, yeah? 2 Corinthians 10:4. "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imagination and of every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God, and bringeth unto captivity every thought to the obedience of Yahushua."
Every high thing can include the ideology and the philosophy of Christianity. We can include Islam. We can include the Episcopalian Church, the Seventh-day Adventists, the Jehovah's Witness, all of these different churches, right? We're putting that all the way down. And what's being exalted is the word of the Lord. The real truth is being exalted. And so much so that vocab alone, he's crying like a baby, man, inside. That's how much it's affecting him.
It's Hebrews 4:12, and it says, "For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful,
Exactly.
and sharper than any two-edged sword,
Yeah.
piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and the discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart."
Exactly. And that's why they want to shut the internet down, man. I'm talking about YouTube to be exact. Okay? Because Esau's getting hurt. He's getting his ass hurt because of this word, man. And there's nothing that he can do about it.
That's right.
And what makes it worse is that they know about what we're saying is true. But they hate the fact that we have the truth that they had hidden for years, man. Okay? And that's just the thing with Esau. See, Esau, they like to keep all of the truth for themselves.
So that's right. How much
What's
you buy
up,
the
bro?
camera?
You got a
He wants to know
question?
the
You got a
price of the
question?
camera. He wants to know
No,
the
I
price of
want
the
to know how
camera.
much you buy that camera, man. Roughly how much?
I don't know. I didn't buy it.
Roughly £100.
Really? £100? What, cash converter? Anyway, alright. Bless up, guys, yeah?
All right, man, take care, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, what makes it worse, man, is the fact that Esau knows what we're saying is true, but they don't like the fact. They hate the idea that we know the truth. Because if we know this truth, guess what? We can make an impact with this truth. We can wake up other people with this truth. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, it's going to change the mind of the people on how they view our people, our nation. And what Esau always wanted is for us to be the down and outers, or to think of ourselves as down and outers. But this truth has liberated us from that lower way of thinking. And now people have to look at us in a different light, because we are declared the sons of God.
That's right.
So because it's now being declared, now the people are not looking at us as black people or as niggas anymore. They gotta look at us in a different light because the word is declaring that we're something else.
That's right.
So there's no turning back. There's no turning back. What is it? The hands of time, like my man R. Kelly said, man. Turning back the hands of time. It's not gonna work, bro.
Second Timothy 3:16, and it says, all scripture is given by the inspiration of the Most High,
Right.
and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness,
Right.
that the man of the Most High may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works.
And that's what this Bible does, man. It makes you perfect, man. Like from this truth, right? I went from eating crap, from being highly healthy now, man. And I feel like, man, like, you know, I feel more invigorated than I did when I was 19. When I was 19, I felt lazy and old and shit. And now I feel like I can take on the world, man. Because of why this knowledge. This knowledge makes you perfect and understanding. And when you're perfect in understanding, you embrace that. You manifest that. You get into the herbs, you get into the vitamins, you get into your minerals, you get into the, the understanding of, your diet and everything like that. And once you get into the diet, and then you do your little workout and everything, you'll feel good about yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the thing. And it just goes to show you the power of this word, what it can do.
Yeah.
There's a law that says in Esdras, it says in the Apocrypha to be exact. I don't know where it says it at, but I'll just say the Apocrypha. It says that the Lord have created all of the medicines on the earth. So if we as brothers tap into the medicines or the herbs that the Most High created, you'll feel the difference. Okay, go on, bro. All right, no, read that one more time.
So 2 Timothy 3:16, and it says, all scriptures is given by the inspiration of the Most High, and is profitable for doctrine,
And it's profitable for doctrine,
for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness.
for instruction in righteousness. So this is the instruction of righteousness. And it goes all the way back to what I was saying before you came here, bro. About how the powers that be, they're not going by the commandments of this book. Hence is why everybody's friggin' depressed and destroyed mentally.
Right.
Because they're not going by the instructions in this book. Go on, bro.
It's Proverbs 1:1, and it says, the Proverbs of Solomon and the son of David, king of Israel. Verse 2, to know wisdom and instruction.
Right, to know wisdom and instruction. The true wisdom is gonna get it from him. All of that nonsense you were taught in university, all in these public school systems, these these brainwashing camps, I call them, you're not gonna learn a damn thing, man. All you're gonna learn is how to uphold this system and how to be a better slave. That's what it's all about, man. But they got your parents brainwashed and conditioned to think, right, that it's a cool thing to go to university. Because you'll be this big guy and everything like that. You'll be big in the highest of your life. When in fact you're just a better slave. That's all you are. Go on, bro.
It says to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment, and equity, to give subtlety to the simple.
Right, to give subtlety to the simple, because we were all in a simple state, man.
Yeah.
In order for you to become wise, like my master, you gotta become a fool. So we know what a fool is, because we were a fool.
Yeah.
We become truly wise because of the true instructions given. That's why it also says in John 17:17, it says, if you know the truth shall make you free. In other words, we'll be liberated from the philosophies of this world. And in that way, we are no longer slaves on the spiritual level. We may be physically slaves because we have to go work, okay, and bust our ass. But on the spiritual tip, we're no longer under this man anymore. Go on, brother. And that's why this truth could not be brought out. Esau didn't want to bring this truth out. Go on.
Now this is 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 9. But ye are a chosen generation,
Right.
a royal priesthood, and holy nation, a peculiar people,
Right.
that ye should shew forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness.
And how are we doing that? How are we doing that? By this work. So we're showing his praises. Because the Lord wants us to be royal men and priests. That's the true intention of the Lord. The Lord didn't put us in this earth to be a bunch of niggas, as Esau wants us to be. Esau wants to see us in a nigardism state of mind. With this rap music and the tracksuit bombs, the tight jeans and all of that. That's not who we are, man. Who we are is to be of royalty and of a priesthood.
Right.
That's who the Israelites are. Okay? That's just the thing. All of that niggardism, or what you would call black culture, which black culture is a manufactured culture made up and set up by Esau. So that you so-called Negroes and you Latinos and Native Americans can pretty much wander out in the way of understanding and look like a damn jackass. So that you can't get nowhere in life. And that's exactly, I don't cut you, brother, and that's exactly what it is. Black culture is pretty much a culture of death, man. We're not promoting no black culture, we're promoting Israelite culture. There's a difference. Okay? That's why I say it now. We're not no West Indians, we're not no African Americans, we're not Haitians, we're none of these things. We are Hebrew Israelites for whatever consecutive tribe we are from. That's who we that's the way we classify ourselves. We are the Hebrew Israelites. Like I said, I'm gonna say this again. We're not promoting no manufactured culture called black culture. We're bringing about to you the culture that the Lord said is of the deep. Now I want you to read that again, and then I'll let you speak.
That's right.
It says here in 1 Peter chapter 2 and 9, but ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation.
Matter of fact, brother, give me Deuteronomy 4:1. Go on, brother.
A peculiar people, that you should shew forth the praises of him who have called you out of darkness into his marvelous light.
Exactly, man.
When
so
you just
that's
read.
what we're supposed to be. We're not supposed to call ourselves
Again,
black
what
people.
Yeah, to teach docility.
We're not here. We weren't put on this earth to be thugs and caught up in thuggery, man. And bullshit. That's not what we was put on this earth to do. The reason why our people are doing that because they've been brainwashed and conditioned to do what they're doing by Esau, so that he can control your ass, man, and destroy you at the same time. But the Lord ordained us to be a royal priesthood, and I want to further prove that right now. Go get me Deuteronomy 4, brother. That's who we are. We're the royals of the royals, man. We're royal blood. That's what we are. You know, we're not no black people. We're not no Africans or whatever. Whatever society declares us to be. We're Hebrew Israelites. We are the Jews. We are the holy people that the Bible talks about. That's right. That's who the hell we are. Go on, brother.
It's Deuteronomy 4 and 5, and it says, behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my power commanded me that you should do so in the land whither you go to possess it.
Okay. Go on. It's 7 and 6 actually.
7, yeah. It's at Deuteronomy 7 and 6, and it says, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy power.
Right.
The Lord thy power hath chosen thee to be a special
So
people
the Lord
unto
chose
himself.
us to be a special people unto himself. Go on.
And it says, above all people that are upon the
no,
face
you gotta
of
be
the earth.
equal to everybody, brother. Everyone's equal. Fun that, man. The most out of niggas have become equal to nobody. We're above people. Okay? We're made to be above people. Yeah, just take a picture of the sign, brother. I don't want to be taking no pictures of it. No, just you can take a picture of this. No, it's all right. Hey, go on, bro. Yeah, read that one more time. Read that one more
And it
time.
says, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy power. The Lord thy power has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth. That's who we are. Okay? You know, we're not because you got brothers that are scattered abroad, you know, calling themselves, what is it, man? You may have a brother in Iran calling himself Iranian, or you may have a brother in Albania calling himself Albanian. But those ain't really who we are, man. And I'm talking about the brothers that are scattered abroad. That's not who you are. Who you are is whatever tribe you may come out of. Now you may not know, but it's going to be declared later on. Okay, who you really are. But I want you to read that one more time because I got caught off guard.
It's at Deuteronomy 7 and 6, and it says, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy power.
Yeah.
The Lord thy power has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
That's all of us right here. All of us were chosen to be a special people unto the Most High. Okay, that's one thing. Go on.
Above all the people that are upon the face of the earth. Precept.
Yeah.
It's Isaiah 40 and 17, and it says, all nations before him are as nothing, and they are counted to him less than nothing and vanity.
Right, and counted up to them less than vanity, man. So all of these nations, their lot is to be below and under, and they're still under us, although they're over us physically. But on a spiritual tip, we'll always be over them, because that's the way the Most High set it up to be, man.
Right there, that's racism in the Bible.
That's right.
Exactly, man.
Separation, racism, all the isms you can add in there.
Prejudice. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, that's what it is. We are the Jews, man. We ain't no blacks. Because that's just an insult in itself, man.
That's right.
Calling yourself, having people declare you as a black person. Like when I think about the word black, I think about an unknown people or people of death. That's what I think about, man. It's like, oh, you just don't exist. That's not who we are anymore, man. Or Latino or Hispanic. That ain't who we are. We're the Hebrew Israelites. Okay? The only thing that's black is the hair that's on top of your head, man. Go on, bro. You get that.
This is Isaiah chapter 40, verse 15. Behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket, and are counted as the small dust of the balance. Behold, he taketh of the isles as a very little
Yeah,
thing.
the Lord ain't dealing with these other nations like that. Even though Elon Rothschild got it going on, and he's setting the standard of his people, but that don't really mean nothing, man. They can have all the power they want. If the Lord ain't rocking with them, that shit don't matter, man. That shit don't matter. The Lord is not dealing with the magnification of these nations. It don't matter to him. They're just setting power to prove it, so that the Most High can prove his point. That's the reason why they're in power. That's the reason why Esau and Edom is in power. It's so that the Most High can make a point at the end of it. The Lord don't, I mean, come on, brother. Pound the camera on these people, man. You think the Most High give a damn about these people, man? You think the Most High gives a damn about these people, these other nations, man? The Lord don't give a damn about them. The Lord don't give two shits about them. Go on, brother.
Second Esdras 16:6 and 56, and it says, as for the other people which also come of Adam,
Right.
thou hast said that they are nothing.
They're nothing. They're absolutely nothing. Okay? They were built to be nothing. They are nothing. And that's why a lot of these nations, they value in wealth. They value in natural resources that they can touch. Because they are nothing, man. So they need something to value themselves after. But Jake just got overall the flavor. Jake got the personality traits and everything, man. Okay? But you got a lot of these Jakes, they do got low self-esteem because they under this man.
Yeah.
And they've been conditioned to think that way because of so many years of brain programming to have them believe that they are nothing. But in fact, this is talking about their asses. Go on, brother.
And it says, but be like unto spittle.
But be like unto spittle. You know, spittle is a spit, man. So the Lord created us to rule over all of these nations. The reason why that's not happening right now because we disobeyed the laws of our Heavenly Father. And this is why you're going to have a coming of the Messiah, who the world likens as Jesus the Christ, when in fact he's Yahweh Shai. We liken him as Yahweh Shai. Okay? That's what's getting ready to happen. So, and that further proves right there, when you know these scriptures, you understand and know that there will be a second coming of the Lord. There has to be, because the word declared is the Lord's chosen people. It don't look like it. And if that's not the case, then that means that the Lord is a liar. The Lord ain't no liar.
That's right.
Read that in Numbers 23, verse 19.
Can I finish this?
Yeah, read that.
And it says, and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel.
Right, in other words, a bucket. What is it? An item that upholds water. So if there's little drippings of water that comes out of the bucket, you're not going to worry about that because you got a big jug of water. Okay, and that's how the Lord sees these other nations. Okay, like I said, brother, pound the camera on these people, man. You see, in London, England, you got all kind of nationalities. This is like the melting pot city. All of these nations, man, the Lord don't give two damns about them.
Right.
Okay? I don't care how good Esau looked with his suit and tie on, I don't really give a damn. I don't care how good those Hamites look with their little, garments on. The Lord, listen, man, the Most High ain't caring about these nations, yo. The Lord is more so concerned about us. on what we got going on because we're part of his council. Give me that in the book of Acts 5, brother. Read that.
And it says, and now,
Matter of fact,
O
hold on.
Lord,
I don't wanna-
behold these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing,
Right, they've been reputed as nothing going.
have begun to be Lord over us and to devour us.
They have begun to be Lord over us and to devour us. So how come what Ezra is saying, how come we don't have an inheritance? If we're the people of the Lord, how come we have no inheritance of the earth? Let's keep going.
It says, but we thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn,
Right?
the only begotten, and thy fervent lover,
And that's why when you read the book of Deuteronomy 32, I believe it is, or 33, it talks about how Jeshurun waxed fat and kicked. That's what I was talking about Israel. Because we were the firstborn. Go on, bro.
are,
First first created.
are given into their hands. If the world now be made for our sakes,
Right.
why do we not possess an inheritance in the
Exactly.
world?
Keep going.
How long shall this endure?
Right, how long will this endure? Because Jacob's in a situation pursuant to Deuteronomy 28. It talks about how we rely on the heathen for the one of all things, our enemies. So we have absolutely got a leg to stand on. Who we go to work to, who we work for.
Because if you read the book of Ezra, basically Ezra was seeing the situation that Jacob was in. And he was having a back and forth conversation with the angel and asking him, he said the world is made for our sakes and these heathens are nothing. But how come they're getting richer and richer and they're building cities and empires? But us, we're just always on the low state.
Exactly.
You know? So he was confused about that and he wanted answers. That's why the angel was sent to Ezra to go and explain the situation that was going on. Okay? And the angel explained to them that we had to go through what we had to go through first before we go our kingdom. You know, we had to go through our low estate, we have to go through the curses, okay?
Yep.
And then eventually now we're gonna get our everlasting kingdom afterwards on.
And you know what,
That time is coming now.
Yeah, and you know what too, but I want to read a couple of precepts and I want to have you brothers start speaking because I pretty much said enough. Yeah, going back to the point now, which we're kind of on the point, but we're going to get back to the main point. I'll tell you what, brother, you give me Daniel's 2 and 42. Because ultimately, like I said, the Messiah is going to make his return to declare his word on the planet. And the main thing that he's going to declare on the planet is what we just read, is that how these nations are nothing and reputed as nothing. And that we're the royal priesthood. Okay, go on, bro.
The book of Daniel chapter 2 verse 42. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay.
Tell you what, brother, hold that. Salakia, man. Give me Isaiah 14 and start from verse 16. I want you to go all the way down there and then we're going to get to that and then I'm going to let one of you brothers come in.
Isaiah 14 and 16, and it says, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble?
Because you see how we look right now. It looks like right now that the so-called people could never amount to anything. Or they could have never amount to anything because of, the conditioning. Okay? But it's going to be the same way to the nation of Esau and Edom. The way they're going to look so terrible. It's so degradable that it's going to seem as though they've never did anything good, which they didn't. Or they never ruled before. That's how bad these Edomites are going to look when our kingdom is set up. When our establishment is set up. Because you have many different establishments, and I'm talking about kingdoms that rose and fell. Now we live under an empire such as the revival of ancient Rome, and guess what? This society is going to fall by what? Great nuclear destruction. Okay? That's how this society is going to fall. This is nothing but an empire that rose for a little season and now it's going into perdition. Alright? Just wanted to bring that out. Go on.
And it says, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms?
That did shake kingdoms. What was that man that did shake the kingdoms? This is talking about a nation of people that was in power before the kingdom was set up, the former age, which we're in that age right now. We're in the age of the power of the wicked ruling the earth, dropping bombs, placing sanctions on people, other countries. Okay, so he ruled the nations with anger, like an hammer. But it's going to get to the point where he's going to rule the nations with anger, so much so that the nations are going to be angry against them And this war is gonna stop. Because we're already in World War III as it is. The only difference is that the missiles haven't been pretty much shot from one end to the other. That's the only difference. But we're in World War III. All began in 1991 or 1990. Go on, brother.
And it says, all the kings of the nations, select verse 17, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof.
Right, and destroyed the cities thereof. Like for example, Afghanistan was a alright city, but it got destroyed because of the lie that went out back in 2002 when Bush and Tony Blandum said that they had weapons of mass destruction. Okay, so that's what Esau did. Or we can even talk about the 40s. You had your World War II, and then you also had the destruction of Japan, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. So while Esau was in power, he was destroying countries and pretty much destroying people. Going into Vietnam, all of these little wars that he had, okay, which was preordained in prophecy. Go on.
And it says, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof.
And destroyed the cities thereof. Go on.
That opened not the house of his prisoners.
Right, and open up the house of his prisoners, because in this society, if you're a slave in this society, in particular, if you're of the nation of Israel, you are a prisoner in this society. Okay? You cannot go over or go under. Alright? The real Israelites are in captivity right now. That's why it talks about how he would be scattered into different prison houses. Because it's not for Esau to let us loose out of this hell. Go on, brother. But only the Lord's will.
And it says, all the kings of the nations, even all of them.
And what is the Lord's will? Is that Yahweh Shai does that job. Go on, brother.
So all the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, everyone in his own house.
Exactly, go on.
But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch.
Thou art cast out into thy grave as an abominable branch. And that's how this society is going to be casted out. It's going to be destroyed.
That's right.
Wholly destroyed, and so much so, in pursuant to the book of Isaiah 13, it talks about how those desert-like creatures are going to inhabit that land.
All right.
So why does prophecy specify the future? Why? Because it's going to happen. That's all it means. How come the prophet was able to specifically go into detail about the vision he saw if it wasn't that important? Because it's going to happen.
Amen. Say all the kings lying in their own glory, because after a period of time, all the nations are gonna go back to the lands that was given to them to establish their own government.
They were smiling.
But Esau,
it's like a carry on.
he said, but Esau be the only nation who's not gonna get that, who's not gonna get any of that.
Right.
Their land is gonna get taken over by Judah. They're gonna be gathered together, okay, and then pretty much they're gonna be completely wiped off the planet Earth.
That's right.
You know.
That's it, brother.
So if I continue, it says up 19, but thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, as the remnant of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword that go down to the stones of a pit, as a carcass trodden under feet. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou destroyed thy land.
Brother, my bad. I wanted you to read, man. I wanted you to read verse. This is the one I wanted you to read. Verse 5, and then read all the way down to verse. Verse 8.
All right. Isaiah 14 and 5, it says, the Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked,
Right.
and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath can continue strong.
Yep.
He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth.
Yep.
The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth in